Howdy folks, it's your friend Naveed Maka. So today I'm gonna talk about the double standards of Western countries and the biggest organization in the world, the United Nations. We all know that the purpose and aim of United Nations is to deter and maintain the peace in the world and deter those countries who are aggressive to other small and underdeveloped countries who have no such capabilities to deter such aggressive countries who are militarily stronger. So as we are seeing some developments in the Middle East, Israel's invasion of Lebanon, it is a detestable act, but the United Nations has scuppered to stop Israel from invading a sovereign country. Under the international law, it is detestable act and it is unacceptable act. But we are seeing that the United Nations has scuppered to stop it, and if it doesn't do this, then the purpose of United Nations is not lucrative. It's worthless. It cannot help the sovereign countries to protect themselves. We see the assembly in the New York of the United Nations thronged and fraught with the members of different countries who always clamor for the human rights, for the peaceful environment. But what we see now, they have failed to contend that they can somehow maintain the peace. When it comes to the Israel or other Western countries, they become meek. They cannot unequivocally condemn the acts committed by some aggressive Western countries, especially the United States. The United States is accomplice in the genocide of Palestinians and the genocide of Lebanese people. The American history, we all know that. A country whose history is fatefully fraught with such acts that we even talk about that, it brings tears into our eyes. We cannot talk about that. We know the history 500 years ago. The Red Indians were killed, their villages were destroyed. 100 million Red Indians were killed by these colonists. Today, the descendants of these colonists are claiming the guardians of human rights. But they don't protect the human rights. The violations of human rights happen commonly and prevalently. We are seeing them. You know, double standards of United States when it comes to the China, okay? It is concerned about the treatment of women by Iran. It is concerned of the treatment of women by China and the treatment by China to the minorities. But it is not concerned about the genocide happening in Lebanon and in Palestine. That is the double standard of the United States. A country whose history is thronged with such macabre and ghoulish acts cannot give us tutelage of the human rights. A country which is accomplice in the genocide, in the massacres, in the pogroms cannot give us the tutelage of how should we act. How should we properly and adequately maintain the peace? The country which does not like the peace, the country which vitiates the peace in the world. We all know that. Okay? America has harmed many countries. Nothing has been left unharmed by the United States. But still, we are seeing this in the Middle East. Sometimes Joe Biden says we are trying to bring the ceasefire. Where is the ceasefire, man? Why are you contending that you are going to bring the ceasefire? Why don't you be just succinct and say that, I'm sorry, the APEC would not let me do that. The APEC funds me. The APEC gives me millions of dollars. If I go against them, I wouldn't be able to propagate my agendas. Wouldn't be able to campaign for elections. I wouldn't be able to maintain the hustings. Therefore, you cannot do this. So you cannot do this. You shouldn't claim that United States tries to protect the human rights, denies the violations of human rights. And what is the responsibility, the honors of United Nations? Is to deter such countries, but here it fails. because it's the Israel. Israel has violated all international laws, but it is still freely, without any hindrance and encumbrance, kills the thousands of Lebanese people and the Palestinians without any kind of accountability by the United Nations, which is supposed to deter the Israel. But it seems it's accomplice. It's not doing anything to style the Israel. How long would this continue? The United Nations must do immediately to abdicate its responsibility, because it's unable. Why doesn't it abdicate its responsibility? United Nations is not supposed to let such developments happen in the Middle East. How long would this continue? This is the serious issue. This is the double standards that we all know that the Western countries do to decry the underdeveloped countries or the poor countries.